Hi, I'm Terrell Turner, the host of the Business Talk Library, and today I have a special guest on. Now, this guest I think is great because he recently finished a PhD program. He's an entrepreneur, a global business impactor. He's a philanthropist, and he's an activist. I mean, so many great things going on. So I want to welcome to the show Dr. Julian Delaney. Welcome to the show, Dr. Julian.
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, you got a lot of great things going on. So I want to start with, what was your background? Like what was the motivation to even get into all these different things?
So I'm originally from Chicago, and a lot of people know that it's hard growing up in the city and not having really, the opportunities or being aware of what's available to you. So just seeing, people on TV that are inspirational. Even my grandmother, my great grandmother, them just telling me, oh, continue at your studies, focus on your studies, don't worry about what's going on around you. The sky's the limit. Like, we see you in the future doing big things as long as you stay focused and do what you need to do as far as your education is concerned. And we grew up in the struggle. Like, we come from nothing. Like, it was hard growing up in the hood. So that was one of my motivational factors, is that, you know what, I want to get out of here. I don't want to be here for the rest of my life. I don't want to be confined to one zip code. It's just seeing the world on television and seeing people on TV that are actually making moves and doing things with their lives is just something that really inspired me. And just having even public speakers come to our schools, whether it was my elementary school or high school. We've had people come by and they even told us about what they're doing in the community or what they're doing to try to give back or to, go out there and make a difference in the world. So I'm really, one of those people where I've always been independent and self-motivated, and just having somebody around me that can speak to my values and come from the same environment I come from, and that are actually out there making moves and making a difference and trying to help give back to the community, it definitely helps and speaks volumes. So that would mainly be, I would say, one of the things that helped me, get to where I'm at today, is just having those people around you that took out the time to, just sit down and speak to us, whether it was a group of us in class or if it was just like breakout sessions or whatnot. Just having that person there to tell us about what they're doing and something that we can, follow in their path. Oh, this is what you need to do, or this is where you need to go. These are the books that you need to look into, or do some research in this field so you can see if that's something that you want to pursue, or something that you see that yourself doing in the future.
Gotcha, gotcha. That's one of those interesting things where I think a lot of people they have that moment where, or those moments where they see other people that are doing great things and they
Mhm.
want to do great things themselves, but they run into that roadblock of, well, I don't even know how to start. So how was it, how was that journey for you figuring out, hey, these are the steps that I'm gonna take to get to, the bigger picture of what I'm aiming for?
Yeah, and I agree with what you said. That's one of the things that I've noticed too, especially in my adult life. A lot of our children, they don't understand where to go. They don't know who to reach out to. They don't know what programs or what's available to them out there. And having, Black professionals to look up to that come from the same environments we come from, or, that just come from the struggle in general, to come and speak to you, that's what helps, because they'll sit down and they'll tell you, oh, well, it's nothing wrong with going to the library. It's nothing wrong with doing research or reaching out to people. Network, get to know people. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And I agree with that statement. It's the more people you know, the further, you're able to go. Like, you network with the right people, they'll help you get to where you need to go. And that's one of the things that helped me. I've had mentors throughout my early, childhood life, and that's what helped me gauge what I really need to do. Just having those people there to fall back on, or if there's something I don't understand, just be able to reach out to them. My grandmother worked full time. My great grandmother worked full time. My dad was in and out of prison all my life. My mom, she worked a lot too. I rarely got to see her. So it's just one of those things where you don't really have the presence of your family to really sit down and make sure that they're, putting that pressure on you. So just having those other people around you that inspire, or they mentor you, or just anything in general that it comes to trying to help uplift the Black community, or
Gotcha.
us as young Black professionals. I think we all need it. I see a lot of the kids now that they don't have that. They need someone that looks like them, that they can relate to, that comes from the same struggle or that comes from the same environment they come to. And I think that's what helped me, is just
Okay.
having that, whether it was a woman or a man, like a black woman or a black man, is just somebody strong that's willing to fight to get to where they need to go and to make a difference.
Hmm. Awesome, awesome. So now bringing it a couple, some time forward now, you finish your PhD program. What's your degree in, and what was that journey like?
So when I originally conducted research into the doctorate program, I didn't know if I wanted to do a DBA or actually focus on a PhD. And the DBA, it's nice and it spoke to me, but I really wanted the PhD because you can use it for consulting purposes. Right now, I consult smaller, medium-sized businesses, and I just got promoted. So now I'm handling the bigger size, larger businesses, enterprises. And it coincides with my actual business model for what I do, for my corporate office. So I said, you know what, instead of me starting a whole new business model and doing things from scratch, I can just leech off of what I'm already doing and just manipulate it and actually restructure my business model to align with what I'm doing now. So consult small, medium, or large size businesses, help them with IT needs, or whether it's their finance, their marketing, anything in that form that they may be struggling with, or they're having issues. They don't know the people to reach out to. They don't have the contacts. They don't have the network. So that was the main purpose of me getting this PhD, because I knew it would help me with consulting outside of the US as well. Because as well as I know, the US isn't the only, frontier. Like the major and the bigger frontier, the thing that everybody should be focused on is international business, not just, local domestic business.
Mhm. And I like that about, in your tagline on LinkedIn, where you talk about, impacting, global business. So what has that journey been like, like I said, broadening your reach beyond, the domestic? I mean, you're in Miami, so broaden it beyond Miami, broaden it beyond the US to actually start getting your hands in and helping. What has that journey been like?
So, as you know, Miami is very international. So there's a lot of people that come in and out of, Dade County. And the fact that there's a lot of networking events. I mean, even though we have COVID going on right now and we can't really get out like we used to, the networking events that I used to go to pre-COVID, there was a lot of business, professionals from overseas that would attend these business conferences or the networking events. And they'll give you business cards, they'll give you their websites, their LinkedIn, so you can keep in contact with them. And they'll, even in the networking events, we would sit down and we would talk, or we would get up and have us go up and speak in front of the group, or stand up and introduce ourselves, let the other professionals know what we're doing. And that's how I was able to start, getting business partners overseas. Like in Japan, one guy from Japan wants to help me open an office over there. I met a few people from Africa that want to help me open offices. When I went to Dubai for a business conference to present my research, a lot of the Arabs want to help me too. They're like, oh, we can help you open a location here in Abu Dhabi or in Dubai. They're very open to Americans expanding business and conducting business in the Middle East. So as I was stating earlier to you, it's just one of those things where you have to be able to network. You can't just become complacent and sit back and just expect everything to be handed to you. I'm very big. As you can see, I have a lot of energy. I'm a people person. Like, I love to get out there and talk to people. I love to introduce myself, to get to know their businesses, get to know them on a personal level. You want to be able to build rapport and relationships with these people, because it will take you really far, and it'll help you differentiate yourself amongst the competition or whoever else they may be interested in working with and whatnot. So
Awesome,
that's one
awesome.
of the things that I've been focusing on, is networking.
Gotcha. Now, if people want to connect with you, or they want to keep an eye and want to, see the great things that you're doing, where can they find you online or on social media?
So right now, I have my LinkedIn. I did create a Twitter and a professional Instagram as well. I'm still working on the Facebook page, so that's going to take a while because it takes a lot of time to do that. But it would just be the @ Dr. Julian Delaney. If they're looking for me on Twitter or on Instagram, I just created those profiles, so followers are starting to come in. A lot of my colleagues that work in business or have their PhDs, or they're in academia as well, started following me as well. They, you know how it is, the suggestions pop up and stuff like that when someone new creates a profile.
Gotcha.
So Yeah.
Gotcha. Awesome. Awesome. Now, before I go to the, I guess the final question, one other question I wanted to ask on the, the philanthropy and the activist work that you're doing there. I
Mhm.
did want to talk a little bit about that so the audience can hear about that side of Dr. Delaney as
Yes.
Julian as well. So can you
So
tell us a little bit about that?
yes. So right now, I focus on HIV/AIDS. I'm an activist when it comes to that. Um, there's a lot of outreach programs down here in Dade County, even in Broward, up in Fort Lauderdale. I used to live in that area too, so I know a lot of people up there. Anytime that they have, blood drives, or they do anything where they're trying to reach out to the youth to make sure that they're protecting themselves, that they're safe. We even cook. We go out and we feed, the needy, or homeless people, and make sure we, give them things to protect themselves as well, whether it's a pamphlet or it's condoms, anything in that form to make sure that they're aware of what's out there and how to protect themselves. I'm a part of Care Resource, and there's another place called Pride Lines Miami. I've joined, up with them as well. I've joined their organization. So anytime that they have events and they have a group of young individuals coming in, I go over there, depending on what day it is of the week, or if they have a program where it's a week long, I'll go over there and I'll help with them, with speaking to the actual youth and trying to just educate them on, HIV/AIDS or any STDs, STIs that may be out there. I've been doing that now for over a decade. So that's one thing. And like I said earlier, you'd be surprised, like a lot of people reach out to me on LinkedIn about that too. They may have HIV, or they may have something, they're scared. They don't feel comfortable going and speaking to somebody about it. And they feel really comfortable with me. And again, I'm very private when it comes to those things. So I have a lot of, background on it, a lot of education. So I try to do as much as I can to try to, be a strong support system for them, because again, a lot of people, they may have something they don't feel comfortable telling family or telling their friends or whatnot, because they're afraid of judgment. So it's always good to have that person that you can go to and talk to, and them confide in, and give you advice, and try to help you get yourself out of that situation, or get you the proper care or assistance that you may need.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I've been focusing on for over a decade now. So
Mhm.
anytime that they have events, or like there's an event going on, I try to go out and try to, give assistance in any way I can.
Awesome, awesome. And I think that's always amazing when, you can marry the side of, the for-profit, agendas that you have in your business, but also, finding a lot of entrepreneurs do keep that side of them where they are finding ways to give back and help. So that is amazing. So before we wrap up, one question I like to ask every guest that comes on is, when you think about, your journey, and you think about the things that you have learned and that you're continuing to learn, what's two pieces of advice that you would share with other entrepreneurs?
Yes. So in regards to that, the biggest thing I mentioned earlier is to network. If you are looking to open a business, or you're looking to start a nonprofit, or anything in that form, like anything that helps, like as far as, assisting other people or giving back to the community or whatnot, you want to network, because you never know, who out there may have the same ideas, or there's somebody out there that may be able to help you. There's a lot of investors, out in these networking events, looking for, small and medium-sized businesses to invest in. Networking is key. Again, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. Those people, or those individuals, will help you get to the next level. The sky's the limit when it comes to networking. Like you can never stop networking. There's always a form, of some form of networking, passing out business cards, or sharing emails, LinkedIn, or social media such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Um, it's been one of my biggest, success stories in my career, is being able to network with people and being able to generate business, and even to help them with business, send referrals. Referrals are key as well. And another thing I would say is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is the way of the future. There's nothing wrong with, working for a big corporation or a company that's willing to invest in your education. Let them invest 2, 3, 4, 5 years, especially with the tuition reimbursement programs where they're paying for your education. There's nothing wrong with that. But eventually you're going to want to become your own boss and run your own business. Again, one thing that I suggest too, you can still work for a corporate office. You can still work for a big corporation. Hire people to run your businesses on the side, revolving strings of income. In the next 3 to 5 years, you're going to have to make a certain amount of money to survive in this country. There's research and statistics to back this up. So you want to make sure that, whether you are working for someone, hire some people on the side to help you run your businesses or help you get your businesses started. If you don't want to work for anybody, then of course, focus and keep your eye, on the prize, which is your bread and butter, your business. But again, network, try to find people that can help you, investors or people that are really good at marketing, or it just depends on what type of field or what route you're trying to take. But that's one thing that I would suggest is to, focus on entrepreneurship is the way of the future. A lot of people are opening businesses on a monthly basis, is registering their LLCs, just trying to get their own businesses up and running. They're tired of working for people. They're tired of being told, oh, you have to do it this way, or I want it done this way. I want to run my business the way I want to run it, not be told how I need to run my business, especially when you know your book of business, your clientele, and you're the expert in your field.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Julian, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for sharing your story, your wisdom, and your insight. We'll definitely include, the link so people can find you, follow your story, follow what you're up to, and get the inspiration and the value that you share. So thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for tuning in to the Business Talk Library. If you like our content, be sure to follow us on social media. And if you want to see more of our exclusive content, you can subscribe and become a member on patreon.com/Business Talk Library. Hey, the Business Talk Library is the place where business makes sense.